Inter Miami's advancing out of the group stages at the Club World Cup has a lot of people in MLS and United States soccer asking one simple question. Does their success in this tournament help elevate MLS? And I'm here to tell you, absolutely not. Not only does it not elevate them, it actually makes the league look worse. I'm going to talk about why that is next, here on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub. Now, if you follow the channel at all, you know my feelings on MLS in general. It is a third-tier league equivalent with not even the second tier in Europe, the Belgiums and the Netherlands and the Portugals. It's below that. It is a below-average league on the world scale, and a lot of that has to do with the structure, the joint ownership across the league, the calendar that's off the rest of the calendar of the world, the fact that they have a salary cap and they don't invest properly in the league and bringing in players, no promotion or relegation, and a whole bunch of other factors. It is what it is. It's a fine league for us to have domestically, but our best players leave and go play elsewhere, and they should. And until MLS fundamentally changes a lot of things, including promotion and relegation and the way they do spending, none of that's going to change. And that's fine. I'm perfectly happy to watch European football and let our best players go overseas. But now, with Inter Miami having some success with a victory over Porto and a draw against Palmeiras in the Club World Cup, everybody's asking the same question. Well, does this help elevate MLS on the world stage? And if it had been one of the other clubs in the Club World Cup from MLS that did this, I'd argue yes. But because it's Inter Miami and Lionel Messi, the answer is absolutely not. We're going to get into why that is here in a second, but before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me down below so you can follow the channel. Get in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think it elevates MLS? You got to explain to me why, because I'm not seeing it. Go ahead and get in those comments. Let me know your thoughts. You can also leave some comments on Twitter and Blue Sky at Pitchside Pub, and check out the website pitchsidepub.com. So here's why it doesn't. The whole thing about Lionel Messi at Inter Miami is a complete sham. Listen, it's great. It gets eyeballs on the game. I've watched more MLS since Lionel Messi has joined Inter Miami than I ever had before, because previously it was almost zero, and now I will watch him play because it's Lionel freaking Messi, and how can you not? But the only reason they're having any success is because the league completely looks the other way every time a superstar wants to come join a club, because they're so desperate for marketing and eyeballs and TV revenue. And so MLS hasn't gotten better because Lionel Messi is there. Only Inter Miami has, and he brought along a whole bunch of his former old teammates from Barcelona, and they are old. If anything, it shows what a joke the league is, how much success Messi and his teammates have had since they've joined. It's not like they've gone out and won the league, but when they're all playing, and at any point they can turn it on and just destroy people still, because they're really that good. Lionel Messi in his late 30s, last year it was third in the league in goals scored despite only playing about half the games, and he blew the league away in goals per 90, and he's basically out there just going through the motions. He's still a competitor and he's still playing hard, don't get me wrong, but he's not what he once was. We knew that after his time at PSG. You're not supposed to be what you once were when you're in your late 30s and you have the miles on your legs that Messi has on his, and yet he's still dominating when he plays. He can't play every day, of course. You're not going to get the full slate of games from him or Suarez or Busquets or any of these guys, but when they're out there, they're still just as good as anybody, and Messi is showing that he can still dominate. Well, that just makes the league look crappier, right? The fact that he can come in at this age, and Luis Suarez can still be a capable player despite having knees that don't even work. Busquets is out there just, half asleep, just dominating, and it's not that he's not trying, but he just doesn't have to. He's so much more technically gifted than anybody he's playing against in MLS, and in this tournament it shows too. And it's the old country song, I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. Well, they showed that here, and credit to Miami. I'm not knocking them when they've got the full complement of old school Barcelona guys playing. They're obviously very, very good, and Lionel Messi can single-handedly change everything, and one piece of magic from him is enough to beat literally any club in the world one time. They're not going to beat them 10 out of 10, but they'll beat them one time. But that doesn't help raise the bar of MLS. It's a complete exception to the rule that those guys are all there. MLS has a history of this, going back to David Beckham going to Los Angeles. They made a massive exception, bringing one of the global stars of the game and putting him in one of the big markets where there was going to be a ton of spotlight, and they made a huge exception to the way salaries are done, the salary cap, the designated player distinctions, and all these things. And they went so far as to give David Beckham a franchise when he retired. That's not something any other club was allowed to do for any other player, but they were so desperate to get David Beckham into MLS and get the eyeballs on him and the attention on him that they just said, here, whatever it takes. And now we've come full circle that it's his franchise that they did the same exact thing for with Lionel Messi. So how does that elevate the league? Please explain to me how that makes LAFC's embarrassing showing in the Club World Cup any better, or anything else about the league. How does that raise it up? The fact that you're so desperate for eyeballs to get these aging stars in that you'll make every exception to the rule, and that's the only team that can have any success on the world stage. It took you completely ignoring your own rule structure and all of your other owners agreeing to it, by the way, and totally screwing the competitive balance of your league to get one club who managed to get out of the group stage and have any chance of competing. And by the way, they're going to get destroyed by PSG. Now, Messi may have some magic here and may pull one out because it's his former club and he wants to show somebody something. And, he's got the magic in him. And so at any point, Messi can beat anybody. But PSG's going to dominate that game from start to finish. They're mad because they had a bad loss in the group stage. They're going to come out and absolutely wipe the floor with Inter Miami, and all this talk will go away. But the fact that it's Inter Miami and the fact that it is only because of Messi and his cohort that they even had a chance to get out of the group stage, in no way does that elevate MLS. The other two clubs having embarrassing showings, and the fact that all the rules had to be broken to get a club to the point where they can compete with other clubs on the world stage, to me, just further embarrasses MLS and shows the inequality between MLS and clubs on the rest of the global scale. In no way does it help make MLS look better. To me, it just exposes the fraud of the entire league. I know I'm being harsh, but that's how I see it. I hate the lack of competitive balance. I hate when we just ignore the rules so we can bring in a star player. The whole thing's a sham, and it's why I don't take the league seriously, and it's why I don't really watch it. But I'd love to get your thoughts. Get down in the comments section. Let me know what you think about all this. You can also leave comments on Twitter and Blue Sky at Pitchside Pub. If you haven't already at this point, hit that subscribe button for me down below so you can follow the channel, and check out the website pitchsidepub.com. Thanks as always for joining us here on Pints and Punditry at the Pitchside Pub.